Dear friends, dear young people, let me tell you something. The world is changing and at an incredible speed. In the year 2000, the USA was the undisputed leader with $10.3 trillion. China was only $1.2 trillion, roughly a nine-fold difference. Between 2000 to 2026, China maintained an incredible pace. With an average annual growth of 8 to 10%, it surpassed Japan in 2010 to become the world's second largest economy. During this period, the US grew at a relatively moderate rate, 2 to 3%. 2026, the US is at approximately $30 trillion, China at approximately $19 trillion. The gap between them is still large but has narrowed. 2026 to 2050 forecast. According to projections by the IMF, World Bank and PwC, China is expected to surpass the US in nominal GDP around 2035 to 2040. By 2050, China is projected at approximately 51 trillion, the US at 41 trillion. However, these figures also carry great uncertainty. A demographic crisis, technology restrictions, and geopolitical risks represent the most significant question marks for China. The Israel-Iran war, which began on February 28, 2026, appears set to upend all the balances in the region. So it seems it will become the world's largest economy in a short period of time. Now you are asking, well, what does this mean for us? And you are right to ask. If you want to understand China, do not try to understand it through Western eyes. That would be the biggest mistake you could make. China is not a nation state. It is a civilization state in the fullest sense of the word. We are talking about a people that has existed for 2,200 years. The assimilated people, the ancestor cult, the understanding of family, the relationship networks we call guanxi, Confucian values, none of these are products of the last century. I know, in the West everyone thinks, as they modernize, they will Westernize. Absolutely wrong. Modernity is not just competition, markets and technology. History and culture also shape modernity. China will definitely not become like the West, and it does not want to either. Let me tell you three important anecdotes. The first, let's talk about Hong Kong. When Britain handed Hong Kong over to China in 1997, it was thought that China would not succeed there with its one country, two systems approach, and people mocked it. They said the moment China takes over Hong Kong, it will erase it, discard it, finish it off. Then 13 years passed, and Hong Kong's legal and political system remained the same as in 1997. We were wrong. Why? Because we thought with a nation-state mentality. But Chinese civilization does not operate that way. One civilization, multiple systems. The second, more than 90% of 1.3 billion people see themselves as Han. Look at America, India, Brazil. They are all multiracial structures. The People's Republic of China is not like that. This is the product of thousands of years of conquest, assimilation, and cultural identity construction. The phenomenon that provides this unity and solidarity is the Han identity. But this identity comes at a price, a weak tolerance for cultural difference. Read the issue of the Uyghurs and Tibetans within this framework. Low tolerance toward different cultures, meaning a more oppressive or conformity-enforcing approach toward diversity. The third, who is the state? At best, a necessary evil, a power that needs to be constrained. In China, who is the state? The head of the family. People do not see the state as a structure outside of society. They see it within society, even at the top of it. And this state has an incredible capacity for building infrastructure. The Grand Canal, which began in the 5th century BC and was completed in the 7th century AD, stretches 1,800 kilometers. The Three Gorges Dam, the Great Wall of China visible from the moon, today's high-speed rail network. No other country in the world has this much, and soon it will surpass the combined total of the rest of the world. Where is the world heading? Now I am asking you the same question. The West has dominated the world for 200 years, a small slice of the population. Now, China and India are taking the stage, 38% of the world's population. Indonesia, Brazil, and many more. This is the greatest democratization move of the last 200 years. Civilizations that were voiceless, unheard, and unknown for centuries are now sitting at the table. Zhang He sailed from the China Sea all the way to East Africa in a massive ship at the beginning of the 15th century. 8 years later, Christopher Columbus crossed the Atlantic in a tiny boat, and we learn about it as a discovery. Golf was also invented by the Chinese. If you want to feel the future, look at China. Stay with love.